another breakdown of UFC Mexico. Moreno versus Kavanagh. We back with another breakdown of a card over in Mexico that's, I guess, actually gonna happen somehow. Don't know how. That is not as bad as people say, in my opinion. For once, I'm being the defender of a card. I don't think it's that bad. I really don't. Like, I know a lot of people are calling it garbage, terrible card, da-da-da. That's more because no one knows who the fuck half these people are, which is fine. I understand a lot of contender series and random returns. But I don't think this card's terrible. I think the Volk card was worse, 325. Like, I don't, on paper, could this card suck? Fuck yeah, it could suck. But on paper, I don't think this card's as bad as people say at all. To be honest with you, do I think it's good? No, I wouldn't go as far as that, but I don't think it's bad either. I think it has a ceiling that could be decent and a floor that could be awful. I think it could easily be as good as a 6 to 7 out of 10 card, or it could be a 2 or 3 out of 10 card. So I'm not saying it's not like they're calling a clearly great card terrible, but I don't think this is a clearly terrible card either, because I actually know what I'm fucking talking about. So, again, I get a lot of contender series debuts. Some people don't watch contender series. Why? I don't know. A lot, like, I think there's 5 fighters returning after a 2-year layoff. Okay, fine, I'll give you that one. Yes, there's a lot of one-sided fights. That's not great, I agree. There's blatant fighters missing from this card. Alexa Grasso, Irene Aldana, Raul Rosas, who's fighting next week. Though I'm not disagreeing with some of the points. The main event's fucking stupid. I'm not gonna disagree there. But to say this card sucks when, let's be honest, how many of the people on the card do you know outside of Bobby, Zoheward, Cheeto, Moreno? Exactly. Give it a chance. Does it suck? Maybe. I think it's just to be happy the card's actually fucking happening at all, because I think most of us know what the fuck has been going on in Mexico lately, so just to get this card's a fucking miracle. So I'm just grateful for that goddamn part, and I'm excited for it. I think there's some good on the card. I think there's some bad on the card. I'm gonna give it a chance. I've seen worse. I've seen much worse cards than this. I've seen worse Mexico cards than this. So I think Noche last year was worse on paper. So I'm gonna give this a chance. And I'm not gonna just say it's garbage like everyone else. And if I'm the one trying to be the bearer of good news, something's fucked up if I'm the one defending a card. Because you know me, I'm not nice. So, let's see, man. Let's see. I'm very intrigued, and just to get this card is a miracle. I'm excited to break it down, so let's do just that. Last thing to say before we do is, of course, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. The normal YouTube bullshit says 200 subs go by the end of 2026, which is never gonna happen, but I could dream. And as always, unless I'm gonna say something in this intro before we get into it, which I don't believe I am, talk about the card, the YouTube bullshit, I think we can get into it. We had 13 fights, a lot of debuting and returning fighters to yap about, so I'm excited to do that. A lot of one-sided fights that probably shouldn't take too long to talk about. I'm intrigued, I'm excited, let's talk about it. You ready? I know I am. UFC Mexico, 5th card of the year, I'm shocked it's even happening. 13 fights, you ready? I know I am. So let's break it down. Beginning with the first fight of the night, a double debut battle at middleweight from 2 people who won their contracts a couple of months ago. We have in our opening fight of the night, neither are Mexican here, which is a little confusing why this is here, but whatever. Now we have in our opening fight of the night, a double debut battle that is not terrible. I know who are these people. Give it a chance. As we have in our opening fight of the night, with neither being Mexican, so why is this even here? We have to begin UFC Mexico with Party Time Schultz versus the Baba Yaga Damian Pinas, not Penis. This fight's not terrible. It's really weird to see a double debut fight from people who came from the same season. Like, that's very rare, and then it's not like a short notice thing. This is just what they booked, so interesting, very interesting. Both these guys got their contracts about a few weeks apart on Contender Series, 3 weeks, so 2 weeks apart on Contender Series. Some new middleweights to the roster. Maybe one of them's good. America versus Aruba? Fuck if I know where or what that is, but cool. Let's talk about it, beginning with the first fighter of the night. The debuting American Wes Schultz, 8-2, 29 years old, making the UFC debut here after going 1-1 on Contender Series. A few years ago, he lost to Mansour Abdulmalik in a bad performance where he got his ass beat. Then he, last year, came back and got a win against Mario Minjao, getting the first Suliev stretch in Contender Series history, and I believe the first one since the Beat did it all those years ago. He did deserve a contract there and looked good, and now he's here. I think we know where we're getting. If you watched Wes Schultz on Contender Series, you kind of know what you're getting with him here. I think this is just a bona fide jobber getting signed. I'm not saying he didn't deserve his contract. He looked good and got the finish. But do I think he's going to be anything in the UFC outside just cannon fodder for good fighters? No, not at all. He lost to Dylan Budka, which is awful, and that's Abdulmalik, who is not that good. I think Wes Schultz is just a bona fide, jobber. He can beat shittier fighters. I would take him against Cody Brundage, Dricus Dumas, etc. But the second you leave that to your fighter, he's a below-average jobber. That when I look at him as he's gonna just be good cannon fodder for decent fighters that they want to build up. If he ended up fighting a Deepa Gutierrez, I would not be shocked, because he would lose that fight and make a Deepa look good. So that's what I feel like the UFC signed here, and then it's not bad. Again, he is better than your Cody Brundages and Dusko Todoroviches, but he's not that good. He's never really not a UFC level at all. And again, outside of just being cannon fodder more than anything, what can I really say about Wes? His striking is not the greatest. Grappling is okay, but that's far from anything special. And yeah, I just think they really are getting a below-average jobber here who can beat tomato cans and will make anyone actually decent look good. So, not really the worst career to have for Wes, and maybe he can prove me wrong and prove he is more than that, but from what I've seen, he ain't. And then for the opponent, the also debuting from Aruba, I have no idea where or what that is, but first Arubian, I would imagine. We have the opponent, Damian Pinas, not Penis, 8-1, 23 years old, going to be 24 in 2 weeks. Now also making his debut, obviously, coming off the Contender Series where he got a quick knockout over Vitor Costa. We didn't get to see a lot there, but he did look good, showed good power, and got the win. Happy they gave him a second opportunity, because he did fall out. He was meant to be on week 1, but that fight fell through. That's how Susurkayev got found. And now Pinas had to wait a little bit longer, but did get his shot and signed, and it's now here. I can't really say a lot about Pinas, because we didn't see a lot. His one loss is a DQ, so pretty much he's undefeated. And yeah, I only saw him fight for under 2 minutes. He looked like he has good power. Had went to round 2 one time, and yeah, no notable wins outside of the UFC. He's kind of a question mark again. Yeah, we did not see a lot at least, and again, I don't do tape study. I might have better shit to do than that. But yeah, he looked good on Contender Series again, showed good power and decent striking, but aside of that, we saw no grappling, no cardio, hasn't been deep into a fight, hasn't really been tested at 23 years old, 8-1. I think he definitely has a higher ceiling of the two, but he also would have a lower floor of the two if he just isn't really that good. So we've seen a lot of Contender Series guys who are kind of unknowns and coming out of like these rare countries. Josiah Musasa comes to mind as one, and some other ones who haven't succeeded. But then you do got your Diba Gutierrez who have succeeded. Francis Ngannou, who wasn't Contender Series, but still. So we'll see which one Pinas falls into, and if he develops and becomes good, awesome. If not, then yeah, that's not good. So we'll see if he's a fraud. The betting odds say he is not, having him minus 250 to plus 195. Yeah, I think I might have the odds a little bit closer. Probably having minus 210, 220. Because, again, we haven't seen him go deep into a fight, and we have not seen him on the ground. Wes is, for not being that good, a bit more experienced in deeper fights, grappling, da-da-da. So, I think the odds could be a bit closer there. Same height, Pinas has a 2.5 in reach, and is 88% picked from Nuva Uniao. That's a good camp. Yeah, I'm going Pinas here, obviously. I don't think much of Schultz at all. Like I said, I think he's a below-average jobber who, at most, would beat guys like Cody Brundage and Cedric's dumbass. So, that's what I think about what we're getting here with Wes, and it's clear that they're already using him how I just described. Feeding him to a guy they want to build up. Because that's pretty much what Wes is here to do. He's kind of just here to be cannon fodder to make someone else look good, and let's see if he can do that here. Or does he get the upset? We'll find out. I'm going to say he doesn't. I'm going Damian Pinas by knockout in first. I think he'll be able to finish him and beat him, clip him, and all that. Same thing did to Vitor Costa. Yeah, could Wes get it down and win? Of course he could. But will he? I highly doubt it. I have my doubts about Wes pulling off the upset here. I just don't think he's anything that special. He's just another body in the division, a below average jobber to better fighters, and see if he does that here, or maybe if accidentally wins. I'm gonna say no. Give me Pinas by knockout in the first, and what should be an interesting double debut battle the night, a rare double debut battle from the same season, and yeah, let's see what happens. Give me Pinas by knockout in the first. Maybe we get the upset, maybe not. Definitely one of the rare fights on the card that I don't think are clear, like no questions asked, but still gonna go Pinas pretty soundly to get the finish to start off the night with a bang. After that, we get to not debuting fighters, but our first of like 4 returning fighters after a long layoff, as we have in our second fight of the night in the featherweight division. The first of 4 fighters making their grand return after 2 years away since fighting in 2024. We have in our first of many clear, easily could be lock of the night fights, we have in our second fight of the night with no debuting fighters, one of the rare cases on these prelims. We have Eric King Silva versus Francis Fire Marshall. And we begin our first of 4 returning fighters with the old, somehow the second oldest, Eric Silva, back after a long time away. A lot of people probably think he is debuting because we have not seen him in so long, but he is not. He is 0-2 in the UFC. Francis Marshall, we know, is in the UFC and has got fucked over a few times. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. Not, again, one of the many fights that are pretty self-explanatory. We can still talk about it a bit, so let's do it. Beginning with the returning old man from Venezuela, Eric Silva, 9'3", 38 years old. It's like 39, gonna be 39 in March. Eric Silva, not the welterweight from years back, now a featherweight, who came off Contender Series in 2022, has had 2 fights since. In his debut, he lost to TJ Brown. I vividly remember that fight. He did not look good at all. And then 2 years ago on Moreno Royval card, he had his last fight against Muhammad Naimov, where he hurt his leg and got finished hurt, and then they got sent away for 2 years. Now back against Francis Marshall. Somehow he's going up the ladder in opponents, which makes no sense. Starting with TJ Brown, who's awful, then Muhammad Naimov, who's an upgrade, and then Marshall, who's better than both. Yeah, really weird matchmaking there, but yeah, Eric Silva back for the first time in a few years, and probably for the last time. Yeah, he's not good. Like, losing TJ Brown and Naima are pretty bad. And I look at his debut, he debuted at, like, his MMA debut with 29 already. So he's a late starter, and maybe he had his prime already, who knows. But yeah, he's just not been anything impressive in the UFC, looking terrible in both fights. The first of 2 fighters named a king on his card, but he didn't go all the way like Bobby Green, and he's not the best king in the UFC, the second best king in the UFC, with people like Casey O'Neill who are much better. But yeah, Eric is looking to be an 0-3 washout from Contender Series. Not great, very old, fighting the best fighter he's fought now after a 2-year layoff at his age. Good luck. That's all I can say. I can't even describe him as a fighter because I don't fucking remember him doing anything outside of that Contender Series knockout, which was in 2022. So, what am I really meant to say? Not much, clearly. As for the opponent, Francis Marshall, back after getting fucked over last year. 8-3, even though he really should be 10-1 in the UFC, or in his career. 26 years old, 2-3 in the UFC, but again, really should be 4-1 coming off Contender Series. Where he beat Conor Matthews, who was a UFC guy after a while. His wins in the UFC have been Marcelo Rojo, William Gomez, Dennis Bazookia, and Myron Santos. He got robbed against Myron and William, so those are wins, obviously. His only real loss was to Isaac Dolgarian, which I guess just shows, man, Isaac Dolgarian was actually good, he's just fucking stupid. And, yeah, now he's getting the easiest fight of his career against Eric Silva in the UFC, at least. And Conor Matthews might actually be worse than Silva, but, you know, is what it is. Yeah, I feel like there's almost UFC throwing Marshall a bone after that bullshit Santos fight, which is deserved. Again, a dude who is clearly pretty decent at what should be a 4-1 record and a, 10-1 record overall. Dude's pretty fucking decent, and, yeah, like, everyone agrees he got fucked over into Myron, which, if you think Myron is good for whatever reason, then you gotta give Francis some fucking respect. And yeah, it'd be good to see him get back on track here for a win. Like, the Bazookia win was not impressive, but it was a win nonetheless. And yeah, should bounce back, shows fine here and do his thing. So, not really much else to say. Good wrestler, striking's alright. Not really too much to add there. The betting odds for this fight have Francis Marshall minus 530 to plus 390. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think you'd have him even bigger, minus 700. I don't see a world where he could lose this fucking fight with how he's performed against much better opponents than Eric Silva, even if Eric Silva, not after a 2-year layoff at 38 years old. Even just with Eric Silva 2 years ago, before that Naimov injury, I'm still picking Marshall soundly here. He is 12 years younger, same height, 1 inch in reach, with 94% picked, and he should get the win here. Yeah, he's just the better fighter. What more can I say? Maybe Eric had a decent prime before the UFC, but he has not shown shit in the UFC. And, yeah, give me Francis Marshall pretty soundly. Bye! I don't know, that's definitely a tough one. I don't think, I'm actually shocked that decision is the majority pick here. I think he's gonna get a finish, but how? Eric did get submitted, and Let's see, what Eric's other loss by submission? What is... I think Francis mainly wins by submissions. 4 wins. I'm gonna go Francis Marshall by submission in the first or second. Give me Marshall by submission in the... Give me in the first. The 2-year layoff, Eric Silva after injury. Francis Marshall pissed off. Give me Francis by submission in the first. I think he's gonna go out there and steamroll him. Won't be shocked if he knocks him out either, like he did Rojo all those years ago, but I'm gonna go submission. It just feels like the more logical way to go with this. And, yeah, give me Francis Marshall by submission in the first. Borderline lock of the night, easily was in contention to be it. Again, there was like 6 fighters who could have been lock. Marshall being one of them, but he's fighting someone better than who the fucking lock is. So, I should say a lot there. And, yeah, give me Francis, but still give me Francis Marshall here by submission in the first. Should get an easy win here. Would be kind of shocked if he didn't finish him, and I'd be extremely shocked if Eric somehow found a way to win this fight outside of a robbery. I don't know how on earth he would win this fight. Maybe a knockout, but I doubt it. I think Marshall is better on the feet, so give me Marshall by whatever he wants, but I'm going to say submission in the first, so not really much else to say there. Should be a pretty sound win for Marshall to stay away from the judges who hate him and get the easy win here, so not really much else to say. Give me Marshall by submission in the first. Not very much else to say there. First of many very easy fights to pick on this card. Which again, you can look at it as a downside to the card. I don't disagree. But maybe give us good finishes, so we'll see. After that, we get I think our only fight that changed on short notice. Yes, so that's good. The fight changed on Tuesday night. So, right after stream. Wasn't that fucking good luck by me. As we now have in our third fight of the night, thanks to a short notice replacement. But a lot of people say this is an upgrade from the original opponent, so maybe they're right. We have in our third fight of the night in the 130 catchweight division, but flyweight obviously. We have in our third fight of the night our first female fight of the night, and our only short notice replacement of the night from stepping in on Tuesday. We have Inesta heavy-handed Karaskeita versus Regina Kill Bill Tarian. Obviously, this was meant to be Sofia Montenegro's debut, but she pulled out on Tuesday night. Regina stepped in, which gave us our first Mexican of the card, and a lot of people are high on this prospect. 21 years old, 7-0, stepping in on short notice. So, it sucks to lose Sofia, because I was actually excited for that fight, because she's female Rebovics, entertaining and all that. But, again, if Regina is better, let's see it. So, an interesting fight here. Let's talk about it. Beginning with the definitely gonna get booed fighter, the first enemy of the card, Inesta Karaskeita, 6-1-1 in the UFC, or in her career, gone godly skinny. 27 years old, 1-1 in the UFC, coming off a Contender Series where she beat Carly Judice in a banger, which has aged really well. In her debut, she lost to Diana Barbosa in a very debatable fight. And then her last fight a year ago, so I guess she's either making a long return. She beat Nicole Calori on the first card of 2025, which has not aged well, and is now here against her Regina. I don't think much of Karaskeita. That fight on Contender Series was really fun. One of the best fights in Contender Series history. Barbosa fight with nothing special. Beating Calori means borderline nothing, in my opinion. Now fighting Regina. This could be a big win for Karaskeita to take a good prospect. Oh, but will she take that? We'll see. Decent striker, long, rarely lengthy fighter, never really saw her grappling, fine cardio, kickboxer, all that, so she's fine. Again, we've not seen a big sample size from her, and again, and not at a consistent rate either, fighting in May of 24, January of 25, now February of 26, so one fight a year. I just really don't think much of her at all. Again, Lithuanian fighters have not done great in the UFC. Julia Stoliarenko, anybody. And, yeah, outside of that, Judice win, which have aged better than anything else she's done. And I think Judice is better than her at this point. I just can't really think of much to say about Keita. I'm just not high on her at all as a prospect or anything that great. And, but let's see how she looks after a year away. Heavy-handed, we've not seen that at all in the UFC, but time will tell. Lengthy, tall striker. See what she can do here in her third outing. Fighting a very different opponent from Montenegro. Some say better. Some say a better opponent. We'll find out as we have for our opponent on short notice, the debuting Regina Tarin. I think it's easy. I guess it would be Tarin. I don't know how you would say it. 7-0, 21 years old, very young, making her debut here, obviously. She's gonna go to WWE and then decide to go to MMA, so that's intriguing. Again, debuting on Day's Notice, was meant to be on Contender Series last year, but that fell through. Ended up having a fight since, getting a quick win, and now she's here. Only name on her record I recognize is Caitlin Neal, because she was on Tough a couple years ago. Yeah, I don't really know what else I can really add. 4 knockouts, which is really intriguing. 2 submissions, 1 decision, so she seems well-rounded. Again, a lot of people high on her, being this, like, upgrade from Montenegro and a good prospect. And actually, how funny, Montenegro actually stepped in for her. I guess they were paying the favor. And, yeah, first Mexican of the night. We'll see if that hurts or benefits or hurts her. And, see how she does. Day's Notice at home against a semi-decent opponent. And, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Just another debut added to the card. See how the first Mexican of the card does. The betting odds are not on Tapology at the moment, but I know Keita is like minus 230 or something like that. They opened up pretty close, but then Keita jumped out to a decent-sized favorite. I can't say if I agree or disagree from what everyone's saying. They shouldn't be that way, so I guess have it like minus 150 Keita would sound right from what I've taken from what everyone says. So, sure. I don't know if that's even accurate. You tell me. Still 2 inches taller, giant reach advantage, but Tarian is 63% picked. People are really high on her. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna hop on the train. Give me Regina, really the only underdog I'm picking tonight, and more because I just don't think much of Ernesta. I was picking Montenegro to win at first, and now I'm going Regina. Am I more or less confident? But I guess maybe a bit more, because more people think Regina is decent. I'm intrigued. I am more than a bit intrigued here with all the hype she's getting, and being the pick favorite against someone who I don't think is that great in Ernesta. This could be an insane fucking debut for Regina at home. Could be a banger. Kick off the night right for the Mexicans on the card. I think there's 8 or 9. And that's fine if you want to, I don't know what else you want to count under there, but I'm not getting into all that shit, 'cause fuck if I know. But, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm very intrigued. But give me the underdog, give me the debuting fighter. Why I guess underdog on odds and not Tapology. Give me Regina, give me Tarian by decision. Don't think she can get a finish here. That would be even more insane. But I'm gonna pick her here. I'm gonna go with the hype. Again, I was picking Montenegro to begin with. Now picking Regina. Let's see. Let's see if she is really worth the hype. And again, I'm very excited and intrigued to see. And, yeah, could Iniesta just be the better, more experienced fighter and schooler? Yeah. And will it happen? I don't know. I think I'm really intrigued to see what happens here. And, give me the new kid. Give me Regina by decision. Let's see what happens. I am very, intrigued to see if she's worth the hype or not. Find out. 4 to 5 days notice. Even the 21-year-old debutante by decision. After that, we go to our fourth fight of the night. Another debuting fighter, and we have our second of 4 fighters making their return after 2 years. So double whammy here, the battle of the 2 debuting versus returning, as we have in our 4th fight of the night in the featherweight division, going right back there after the Marshall fight for, I believe, the last time on the card, though. Yes, as we have in our 4th fight of the night, a return versus a debut battle that could be very fun, as we have the oldest man on the card, Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Blair Reyes. This is an interesting one. Douglas Silva de Andrade back for the first time in 2 years after getting suspended and now moving up to featherweight at 40 years old. Javier Reyes coming off the Contender Series, but as you see, 22-5, a very deep record, so he's definitely not he's one of the veterans off Contender Series that we see at least one a year, or for this year I think 2 or 3, so he's not one of these inexperienced kids off Contender Series, and yeah, this should be interesting. I think this could be a real fun fight as well, and I'm intrigued. So, return versus debut, which one wins? Let's find out. We'll begin with the returning fighter, the old man at 40, Douglas Silva de Andrade, 29-6. Again, he is a man. He is 40, gonna be 41 in June. 7-6 in the UFC. I think all those fights were at bantamweight, or most of them at least. Ups and downs at bantamweight. Like, he was always a pretty decent fighter. Got wins over Cody Gibson, Chito Vera, Henan Barao. Sergey Morozov was probably the fight most people remember from him. And Cody Stamann was his last one a couple years ago. His losses: Zubair Tugov, Rob Font, Piotr Jan, Jerome Murphy, Saeed Nurmagomedov, and Miles Johns. When Saeed is your worst loss of your career, that should actually say a lot there. But sadly, we've not seen him until June of 2024. That's because he got suspended last year, and for I think roids or some bullshit. And now he's up at featherweight after a long time away. It's kind of difficult to talk about him now because, yeah, I thought he was always kind of a decent fighter back when he was active a few years ago, but now he's 40, off a layoff. Didn't look the greatest against Miles Johns, coming off getting suspended, which is never a good sign. How much does he have left? He's a tough old man, but how much does he have left? We're gonna see. This won't be shot if this is his last fight in the UFC, or if he retires after it, one or the other, or he wins, who knows. But, yeah, Douglas, I thought, was a very decent fighter a couple years ago, but now, long layoff, suspension, and up a weight class. Does he still got it? He has good striking, really good power in his hands. Grappling is not his strongest suit, but I guess he's not inept. Can go 3 rounds, has done it a few times. Again, the names of guys he's fought is insane. So, Cheeto, Piotr, Barao, Lerone, like, just right there, and those were 4, that's one that, like, I get it was a super old Henan Barao, but still, that's an insane 4-fight streak, and, yeah, let's see if he still got it. So, we'll see if Unk still has a little bit left in the tank after a long time away up a weight class. And, well, actually, I think, this has to be a return to featherweight, yeah, so he went down to bantamweight and then came back. So, I don't get why or how, but whatever. And, let's see if Unk still got it. as for the debuting opponent, the Colombian, which there's not many of those on the roster, are there? Like, I'm struggling to think of really any. We have Javier Reyes, 22-5, 32 years old, again a veteran, more than most of these Contender Series alum. Coming out of Contender Series where he got a knockout against Justice Torres, looked very good. Yeah, he seems like a very fun fighter. 10 knockouts, 8 submissions, 4 decisions, so he's definitely a finisher. Lost to Larian Douglas and LFA, so another guy who he debuted in Seattle. Any other big names on his record? Not that I am seeing. So I don't think he's gonna be anything. I don't think he's gonna be a prospect or a guy where you gotta keep an eye on. I think they're more signing Javier just be a fun veteran in the division to have some fun fights. I highly doubt he's gonna really become anything in the division. A, featherweights are really good, and B, Javier is already 32. And again, he's outside of Larian Douglas. I don't know who any of these guys he's losing to are, so, or even these wins, I've never heard of really any of them. So, take that as you will. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad signing. I don't think he's a bad fighter, but I think you're more just signing a veteran to have some fun fights. Same thing they did with Larian Douglas, to be honest. They did that a lot this season. There was a few guys on Contender Series this year. They kind of just, these veterans, they did with Chidi and Jokwani years ago, so interesting. And, yeah, we'll see how Javier does in the big show now after 27 fights in his career now. Number 28 already. See how he does under the biggest lights. But I gotta say, he's gonna do pretty good at minus 240 to plus 190. Yeah, I guess I'm not against those odds. I'd probably move down to like minus 210, 215, but it is what it is. Yeah, can't really, I get it. I'm not gonna say I don't get it. Same height, Javier has a gigantic reach advantage, 73 to 68.5, an 81% pick. I'm amazed how many are picking him by knockout. I think I'm going decision here, to be honest. Has Douglas ever been knocked out? I know he's been submitted. He got knocked out one time. And looking at that was a doctor stoppage, corner stoppage, so it's not really a knockout, so yeah, getting knocked out is not really part of Douglas's game plan. I cannot even really remember the time he got rocked, and he's fought some heavy hitters, so I don't think Reyes is going to be the one to knock him out, as much as, again, I do think dude has good power, and that is how he usually wins. I don't know if he's going to be cracking the seeming to be uncrackable chin of Douglas, even though this is a much older Douglas. I just kind of have my doubts, so I get it. But I'm going to definitely lean with a smaller percentage here. Give me Javier Reyes by decision. Could Douglas win this fight just by being a better veteran and experience and all that? Yes, 100%. But do I think he will? Probably not. Javier is not some random new kid from Contender Series. He's had plenty of fights. And I think he's ready for the big moment, the big spotlight on him. So I think he's going to perform just fine here, get the win, and again, I'm going Javier Reyes by decision. Again, could he get the knockout? I guess, but I'm going to say I doubt it, and give me Javier by decision, and what should actually be probably a fun fight, unless one of them tries to grapple or scare the other's power, because there is some good power in this fight on both sides. I think, should be a fun fight. I'm going Reyes to get a debut W by decision against Unk. And, yeah, hope I'm wrong. I hope we get a knockout, but I doubt it. So, let's play it safe. Go decision for the debuting Colombia. After that, we get somehow the second most pathetic fight on the card. That says a lot. When this is that fight, when this is not the most pathetic fight on the card, and we had to bantamweight for a fight that is close to as close to pathetic as you can get, and I'm actually shocked it's still happening as of right now, because someone likes to pull out of fights a lot. We have another debuting fight, or not debuting, returning fighter after 2 years at bantamweight in a joke of a fight between Christian Problema Quinones versus Chris Mutino. So, on one side, we got a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years since that same Moreno Royval card, and it looked terrible when he was fighting. He usually just pulls out of fights now. And on the other side, we got the guy whose whole gimmick is losing. That's all he's ever done in the UFC. It's not like a great fight. Somehow, neither of these two are the worst fight. Somehow, Chris Moutinho is not the worst fighter on the card. That's just a lot. I don't think my take on this fight's gonna be like anyone else's. I don't imagine, so let's talk about it. And let's talk about, for the first time in 2 years, Christian Quinones. 18-5, 29 years old. Hey, birthday in April, W. 1-2 in UFC. Got coming off contender series where he beat Long Zhao, which is actually intriguing looking back. A guy who should beat Cody Garbrandt next week. I think the rematch between those two would go a little bit different. In the UFC, in his debut, he knocked out Khalil Taha, looked very good, and then everything went wrong. Fought Kyung Ho Kang, lost, don't know how. Fought Raoni Barcelos, did pretty good, but got submitted. And then we've not seen him in 2 years, where he kind of, I swear, he pulled out more fights than just Yana's fight, but either way, finally back now, and yeah, is he gonna be better now? Who knows? Yeah, the Raoni loss is understandable. Again, he was doing pretty good in that fight. The Kyung Ho Kang loss is bad. Somehow Long Zhao win as age better than anything else. And yeah, the Vinicius Oliveira win is really intriguing looking back. So he had a few decent wins, but they were so long ago. It's like, yeah, your Long Zhao and Vinicius are good wins, but they happened years ago, and I don't think he would be winning the rematch. So they've had much better careers than you since then. So, yeah, Christian, if he actually makes to the fight, back finally in a must-win situation. 10 knockouts, 3 submissions, 5 decisions, mainly a striker. Let's see how he looks 2 years away, for whatever goddamn reason, fighting a guy who, on paper, he should beat, or on paper anyone on Earth should beat pretty easily. But let's see if he can. Again, like, one of your losses is Jaime Barcelo, the other is not as understandable, and who knows why you've been away for so long. So, on paper, logically, you should win this fight easily, but will he? I don't know. I don't know. I have a weird feeling it's not as straightforward as people say, so let's find out. Let's find out when, let's see how Quinones looks after some time away. Fighting the meme himself, the joke himself, in his 4th fight in the UFC, 2nd one since coming back, Chris Moutinho, the meme himself, with that Portugal's flag behind him for some fucking reason. 14-7, 33 years old, 0-3 in the UFC. We all remember his first UFC run, the O'Malley fight, and then Guido Canetti sent him out to UFC. Got cut, did terrible in boxing, grappling, then went into the regional scene, won a few fights, got called back against Malcolm Wellmaker, died again, and now back again for probably his final chance in the UFC. Yeah, what can I say about Moutinho? Outside of he's fucking awful. Somehow the O'Malley performance was the best performance of his career. He literally just got his head punched in a bunch of times. Guido and Wellmaker have not aged well. And yeah, dude is kind of just a tough human punch bag. Could he fall ass backwards into a win here? I hate to say, I really think he could. And if he was ever going to do that, I think that'd be this fight against the worst guy he's fought. Like Guido at the time would have been looked at as the worst, but I guess not, since he beat him easily. And yeah, this is, what can I think of? Chris Moutinho more than likely loses, but I have a weird feeling he can fall ass backwards into a win here, so let's find out. Let's find out what this probably, hopefully, last chance. How does the human punching bag do? The bag odds say very poorly, like always, having Chris Quinones minus 650 plus 420. Nice. I don't agree. I don't think this is as straightforward as the odds say. Maybe I look back on this and call myself goddamn stupid. But I don't know. I just have a weird feeling it ain't as straightforward as Quinones wins next. I really don't. I don't even think Quinones is in the lock of the night territory as a bunch of other guys. Not saying I'm not picking him, but 650, I would have him minus 300. Still a big favorite, but I just can weirdly see Moutinho falling ass backwards into a win here. Maybe I'm insane. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Quinones is an inch taller. That's it. Moutinho looks smaller than 5'7". He looks like he'd almost be a goddamn flyweight. 2-inch reach advantage, 79% picked for Quinones, and I am gonna go with Quinones here. Obviously, I'm not that insane, but I am insane enough to say I can see a world where Moutinho falls ass backwards into a win, so won't be shocked. Again, we don't know how Quinones is gonna look 2 years away for whatever goddamn reason. Hey, Moutinho might suck, but he's fought like 6 times since we last saw Quinones fight, so let's see. I'm going Christian Quinones by decision. I don't think this is going to be as easy as people say. I won't be shocked if Moutinho actually wins around here, even if he does lose. I just am not high on Quinones at all after all this time away, and I would not bet on him. I would not pick him, but I am not going to be dumb enough to call Quinones a lock when I'm not as confident as I am in a lot of other fighters. So I'm going to pick him and say I would not be that shocked if I was wrong here, and everyone else is. I'm going Christian Quinones by decision, but I just have this weird feeling Moutinho can't win this, so let's find out. Again, I can entirely be wrong and insane, but maybe I'm not. Anything is possible, right? Let's find out. Giving Quinones by decision, but I'm not as confident as others. I could weirdly see Moutinho doing the impossible and actually winning a fight here. Let's see how well that idea ages. Giving Quinones still, though, by decision. After that, we head to our co-main event, the prelim, that should be on the main card, because no shit, it's a top 10 fight in the division, but why use logic ever? After we have our co-main event, the prelims in the bantamweight division, that might get cancelled if someone misses weight like they always do. But going off the idea that the fight happens because everyone makes weight, we have in our co-main event, the prelims in the women's bantamweight division. In the top 10, one fighter trying to save their job, one trying to extend their winning streak to 6 somehow. We have in the top 10 a women's bantamweight, still should be on the main card or featured prelim bare minimum. I say it every week, I won't stop. As we have in our co-main event, the prelims, though, Macy Chasson versus Eileen Fiona Perez. Well, Eileen said if Macy misses weight, she will not fight her, and I don't think anyone could blame her for that. Because Macy has missed weight so many times now. Can you fucking blame Eileen for not fighting her? So, I definitely cannot blame Eileen for that at all. Let's see if Macy actually makes weight. I know that's a big ask for some fucking reason. Now, if Macy does do the bare minimum and make weight, let's talk about higher ranked fighter first for this fight. Macy Chasson, 10-5, career job on the line, 34 years old, gonna be 35 soon. 8-5 in the UFC, a lot of weight misses in there. Former Ultimate Fighter winner, with wins over Penny Kianzad, Gina Mazzani, Sarah Moras, Shanna Young, Ryan Renault, Norma Dumont, Penny Kianzad again, and Myra Bueno Silva. Her losses have been Lena Landsberg, Raquel Pennington, Irene Aldana, Kellen Vega, and Yana Santos. Macy's had such a weird fucking UFC career. Like, even if you take away all the weight misses, like, her wins, none of them were spectacular. Norma's she aged really well, but that was barely a win. Let's be honest, she kind of just hanged on to Norma for 15 minutes. And all of her losses outside of Lena one have all been against the higher echelon of the division. I guess Bianca Santos. So yeah, she's shown she is like a top 10 fighter in the division, being able to beat the lower rank, beat Myra as an underdog. Called that one, thank you. But she had never been able to break through that ceiling of getting a big one against someone in the higher rankings, and that's why she is where she is now. At 8-5, decent, but never really doing more than just being decent. Like, fuck, she's one of the few fighters in this division and I have a main event, which is fucking insane. So take that as you will. And then if you do factor in the weight issues, inactivity, like, it's just not been great for her. She took 2 years off after the Iranian fight, so that was 2 years wasted. She has some ability. Her striking's pretty terrible, but her grappling is very solid. She's very lengthy, which I guess is a big reason she is missing weight so often. She has some talent, but she never shows up at her best against when it matters. So, unless she's fighting Patty Kianzad. So, now in a do-or-die situation for her, can she save her career and win? Can she make weight? We'll see with Machine Gun Kelly. Probably she's more of a man than he is. And see if she can save her career here against someone who, if you go off the names she's beat, who she's lost to, name-wise, you'd think this would be one of her wins, but somehow Eileen's actually good, and Macy really needs a win here, so see if she can get it, or is this the last time we see her before she's in PFL fighting? Who the fuck do they got in that dump anymore? Cyborg. As for the opponent, somehow on a 5-fight winning streak, and I guess more than just a meme, and actually a somewhat decent fighter, Eileen Perez, 12-2, 31 years old, 5-1 in the UFC again, somehow has won 5 in a row, which is fucking insane that she's on a 5-fight winning streak and 1 fight away from being in the higher, in almost the top 5 in her debut against Stephanie Egger. She did lose, even though if she fought smarter, she actually could have won that fight. And since she's beat Ashley Evans-Smith, so Lucy Pudilova, Jocelyn Edwards, Daya Zlesniakova, and Carol Hossa, those last 3 ones are actually not terrible, to be honest. Like, especially Hossa and Edwards, how good those have aged. And even Zlesniakova was a fine win. So, is she exciting and winning dominantly? No, she is just taking you down and laying on you outside of that random Zlesniakova finish. But wins are wins, especially in this division, and she is winning. So, what can you really say there? If she wins this fight, she is in line to have a top 5 fight, and that is insane to say, that she could easily be 2 wins away from a title shot, and it would be deserved. So I don't know what to really say there, but you know, it is what it is. Will anyone be able to stop her takedown strike with her? Because she's not a great striker. She is very short. And if someone can, like, if Macy could, like, Macy would probably want to be the striker here and keep it striking, because she is much bigger and Eileen's a terrible striker. But will she do that? Who knows? Eileen has good takedowns and just knows how to get you down. So we'll see if she can do that again and get to 6 in a row. Like, again, not a great striker, fine cardio, good takedowns. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Can Eileen fucking get 6 in a row and have a... I can't even believe the meme is actually... Again, I keep saying it, after a while, when does she become more than just the meme of doing this shit? So, what more can I really say? Can she make it 6 in a row? Let's find out. The bad odds say she will have it at minus 165 to plus 135. Yeah, I don't disagree with those odds, to be honest. If the fight actually happens again, and I can't blame Eileen one bit for not fighting her if Macy does miss weight, so that we'll see. Macy is much bigger, 5'11 to 5'5, which is insane. 72 to 66, so that's also in Macy's favor, but Perez is 88% picked, which I'm actually amazed people are picking Perez here, but it does make sense. I'm going Eileen here as well. Could Macy keep it standing and win? I would suppose so, if I think she would win a striking match. Or could Macy reverse her on the ground and just be bigger and stronger and all that? We'll see. But in the same world, could Eileen just take her down, lay on her and win? Sure, we've seen it done before to Chasson, so I don't know, I think this is definitely intriguing. If the best version Macy shows up, she could easily win this fight. But if the Macy we've seen lately shows up, or she doesn't even make weight, then yeah, that's not good. So, but I just think Eileen is just better right now. I think Macy's kind of just checked out, done, and I'm going Eileen here. I can't believe I'm picking her to go on a 6-fight winning streak, but fuck it, give me Eileen by decision. Yeah, give me Eileen by decision. I think she has the better cardio. I think she'll be able to win the later rounds. I think round 1 might be difficult. I think round 2 she can start to take over, and round 3 she wins. Give me Eileen by decision, probably 29-28. If it even happens, if Macy makes weight, and see what happens. Not really much more I can think to say there. Can't believe I'm picking Eileen Perez to win 6 in a row. Let's see what version Macy shows up. The on-weight version that's actually decent, or the overweight tomato can. And let's see if Eileen can keep proving she's more than a meme. Give me Eileen by decision. How fucking insane. And then finally, I'm not gonna waste time on this fight because it doesn't fucking deserve it. The featured prelim that should be the opening fight, or not on this card at all. We have in our featured prelim at middleweight the last of the heavy fights on this card. The rest of the card is the lightweight and under. We have in the featured prelim Jose Chico Medina versus Ryan Problema Same Quinones Gondra. Ryan Gondra locks the night, knockout in first. Jose Medina's in contention for the worst fighter of all time. I truly think CM Punk is more respectable. And, yeah, give me Ryan Gondra by knockout in first. Got nothing to really say there. Jose Medina's a joke. Next. And there you go. That's the prelims an hour later. They're not terrible. Again, I know, 2, 3, 4... 5 debuting fighters, 1, 3 returning after a long layoff. Guys like Moutinho's and Medina, I get are pathetic, but it's not bad. It's truly not. This should probably be a finish and fun. This should probably be a finish. This is intriguing. This could be fun. This is interesting. This might be a dud, I won't be shocked, and this should be a quick finish. So, to be honest, out of all of those, outside the Eileen fight being probably a bit lame, these are pretty good prelims, good debuting fighters, returning fighters, prospects, whatever. I don't think they're that bad. Still better than 325's prelims, and I think they are a good way to head into the main card. Maybe I'm wrong, they suck. High possibility of that. I mean, again, for once, I'm the one being hopeful. I think they could be decent, and, yeah, again, I'm not gonna shit on this card until it gives me a reason to shit on it outside of this idiot being here. Not a bad prelim, and not a bad prelims, and, good way to lead into the main card, in my opinion. Which we still got 6 fights to talk about from there, so let's get into it, beginning with the main card opener. Another fight that could have easily been locked tonight, and God, it was very close to being, as we have in our main card opener in the bantamweight division. A fight that is so easy to predict, it's not even fucking funny. We have in our main card opener at bantamweight, Santiago Border Boy Luna versus Angel Pacheco. Yeah, I think we all know who's winning this fight. I don't really need to explain much here, but I'll talk about it for a quick minute, because why not? Still more respect for Pacheco than Medina, but let's talk about the winner of this fight first, the undefeated. Did get dropped there, but still decent, got to finish. Fine, Quang Lee is fine at best. Somehow he's getting a step down from Quang Lee, so take that as you will. But yeah, he looked good there. He didn't look that bad at all. Got the knockout bonus and all that. Good debut on a big stage, and now he heads home to get his second fight in the UFC. Yeah, this kid could really be something interesting. Well, again, 21 years old, 7-0, looked decent, good striking, good power. Didn't get to see the grappling, which he has more finishes there than striking. Funny nickname. I don't think they said it. Maybe got rid of it, or they said they're not saying that. But either way, it's funny. And yeah, not like we didn't see a lot of him. Again, he only fought for 3 minutes or whatever against Quang Lee, where he did show durability. He got dropped and bounced back, and yeah, we'll see how he looks here on more of a full camp at home against a much worse opponent. Again, I haven't seen much of him. Second time watching him. We'll see if we get to see a little bit more from him. And yeah, we'll see how the other 21-year-old 7-0 fighter does on this card. And we got Regina earlier and Santiago. They're just getting younger and better, and they're all better than Raul Rosas, that's for sure. See how Luna looks in his second outing. Fighting a much easier opponent than Quang Lee. He is fighting the still signed for some reason Angel Pacheco, 7-3, 34 years old, back for the first time since 2024. And when the contract in 2023, and a loss to Danny Silva. Yes, it was a good fight, but was it signed the loser good? Debatable, but whatever, fine. Then he debuted against Callan Langhorn, I don't even know how you say his fucking name. Remember that guy? Me neither. But Angel did lose that fight. Didn't look terrible, but that's just how awful Callan, whatever, is. And then we haven't seen him since March of 24. Back now just under 2 years away. And yeah, he's pretty fucking terrible. What can I say? I don't know why he's still signed. Have done nothing. Like, Danny Silva, that was a fun fight, but should he really been signed after that? And should he really still be on the roster after taking 2 years away? I would say no. At 34 years old, I don't know. They've wanted to keep him for some reason, giving him a fight here to just build up a young guy. Sure, why not? Yeah, why is he fucking here? To be honest, same division, if he fought Moutinho, I'd probably pick Moutinho, so what does that tell you? And, yeah. He's back, though. At least he's not wasting space on roster, not fighting. But he is going to be wasting all this time, because why is Luna fighting him? At minus 480 are the odds, plus 350. I think Luna could be minus 600, 700 easily. I would actually even go higher if it's 800. Yeah, I don't see a world where he would lose this fight. Taller by an inch, 4 inches in reach, a 98% picked for that 2%'s insane. Give me Santiago Luna by knockout in the first. Should wipe the floor of Pacheco pretty soundly. If Callan Langhorn is beating you, that should say a lot. Back after 2 years, 34 years old, never should have been signed to begin with. Luna's a good, interesting prospect. Give me Luna by knockout first. Again, if Gondra wasn't fighting Medina, Luna would have a high chance of being lock of the night, but even Pacheco is better than Medina. And, yeah, give me Luna by knockout first. Not much to say there. Don't see a world where he would lose this fight. Another quick, easy win. Simple. Next. Then we have a guy I've hyped up as much as humanly possible, and now it's time for him to show up or show out on the big stage, as we have in our second fight of the main card, the final debut of the night, and maybe the biggest one that I am very excited for, because again, I've hyped this kid up very much. I'm very excited to see him finally debut in the UFC, because I think he is really good. We have in our second fight of the night at flyweight for the first of 3 fights on the main card. We have, man, the Mexicans love flyweight. That is the division they do best at. I can't even disagree there, so it makes sense they are half the main card. We have in our second fight of the main card, in our final debut, Emmanuel He-Man Rodriguez versus Kevin El Gallo. Not saying that last part. Borjas. Emmanuel finally making his UFC debut in the UFC after getting fucked on tough. Now we go through Contender Series. He's finally here, and I'm so excited. I thought he was the best fighter off Contender Series last year. I thought he was easily the best fighter off of Tough last year. I've not been proven wrong on either of those so far, and especially the Tough part. And I'm so happy he's here now. He's so fucking good, and getting an easy debut here to showcase himself. I'm excited. Let's talk about it. Beginning with my boy that I've hyped up to the moon, Emmanuel Rodriguez, 6-0, 26 years old. I didn't think that old. I thought he was like 24, but that's not even a big deal. He's really good. Coming off Contender Series. Should have been coming off the Ultimate Fighter, but this was a robbery. But whenever he won on Contender Series, looked great, and now he's here. Yeah, I think this kid's great. What can I really say? I think I'm usually not as high on a guy as I am here, but dude, I think Manuel is gonna be one of them ones. I think this kid could easily be one of the ones, like, with Moreno getting older, someone's gonna need to carry that flag at flyweight. I think it could be Emmanuel. I think he's really fucking good. He's well-rounded, training with DC, his striking is great, good power, wrestling will get better with DC, he'll just get better overall. Like, this kid's good. I think he's the best fighter from Contender Series last year, and I would not be shocked if in 10 years we're talking about this guy as money 36, and probably his career is close to over. We're talking about him as hopefully like either a former title challenger, top guy, champion, something. I think he's really fucking good. And could this all age badly? Of course. Not as bad as some of the people they try and hype up, y'all or the UFC, but I just really think this kid is special. And let's find out, man. Let's find out. Finally on the big stage at home, getting a layup in the debut. Let's see if he can live up to all the hype I've given him. I've talked about him in numerous videos for Tough, Contender Series, and now here. Automatically one of my favorite fighters. If he wins here, he really jumps up the list. And, yeah, man, I'm so fucking excited. Let's see how he looks in his debut. Please don't make me look stupid. At least if you're gonna be a fraud, wait a couple fights and then break my heart. And, yeah, let's see if the rare time RX hypes someone up without anyone else doing it actually works. I'm excited to see what happens. But he is actually fighting someone. He is fighting a guy who did fraud check a Mexican prospect last year, and his opponent, Peruvian Kevin Borjas. 10-4, 28 years old, 1-3 in the UFC, coming out of the Contender Series. In the UFC, he's lost to Joshua Van, Alessandro Costa, and Suma Darji. His only win was last year against Ronaldo Rodriguez, fraud checking and embarrassing him. Yeah, Borjas is not that good. I'll give him props that his losses are pretty strong. Joshua Van, self-explanatory. Alessandro Costa, self-explanatory. Suma Darji, that one's not as self-explanatory. He looked terrible in that fight and kind of looked like he just handed Suze a win. And then again, the Ronaldo fight, he looked great. I don't know if he won that Sue fight kind of just high on his own medicine or what, but either way, he looked fucking terrible. And now he really has to maybe get a win here to save his job, because the only 1-4 is not a great start to your career, no matter who you're losing to. And yeah, we'll see how he does here. So right back to Mexico, fighting the Mexicans after beating their boy. And yeah, let's see what happens. I don't think Borjas is that good. I don't think he's the worst of the division. I think there are worst fighters in the division, but I think he's just a borderline layup for anyone good, and can give a tough fight to terrible fighters like Ronaldo Rodriguez, guys like that. Is he a complete layup? No. But do I think he's anything special? Also no. So, I don't know what else to really say there. He's just kind of here to be cannon fodder, and see how good of a job he does at doing that. So, let's find out. The Beatrice fight heavy Manuel minus 420 to plus 310, nice. And 420, we're looking at Manuel's fucking mugshot, he looks stoned. Yeah, I think Manuel can be minus 500, 550, like everyone else pretty much. I don't think he's gonna lose this fight and get exposed like Ronaldo. I think he's much, much better than Ronaldo. And, yeah, I think he should win this fight, just being the much better fighter. He's in shorter, and Borjas has 4 inches in reach, but Manuel is 91% picked. I agree, and obviously I've hyped him up so much. No shit, I'm going with Manuel here. I think he's that guy. I really do. I think he's just that motherfucker. And, yeah, I think he's gonna go out there and get the win. I'm gonna get to finish. I'm just thinking, do I say knockout round 1 or 2? Borjas is tough, I'll give him that. Borjas is a tough motherfucker. Emmanuel could feel the spotlight a bit. I'm gonna say knockout round 2. I think Borjas is really tough motherfucker. He's only been finished by Alessandro Costa. Not even Van could finish him, and like Van's a finisher, but still. I'm gonna say round 2 finish for Emmanuel. Show a little bit of cardio, go deep into a fight a bit. I'm gonna say knockout round 2 for Emmanuel to put Borjas away and get a successful debut W. Man, this is the most finishes I've ever picked for a card, Jesus. Yeah, give me Emmanuel by knockout in a second. Could be a first round finish, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm gonna say Borjas is tough, and we see a little bit of... Yeah, and really the only reason he got finished against Alessandro is because he got his leg chewed up, so we'll see if Emmanuel can hurt him to the body or head this time. And, yeah, give me Emmanuel by knockout in a second to have a successful debut, and that has me continue driving his hype train, because I think this kid is special, and I think he's gonna be one of them ones, man. Give me Emmanuel, I don't know, knockout in a second. Could Borjas fraud check him like Ronaldo? I guess, and I would say if there's a possibility, but I say it's unlikely. Give me Rodriguez knockout in a second to not make me look stupid. And then we stay right at flyweight, but these are much older fighters, and not prospects, but still give you a decent fight with at least one decent fighter in it. And we stay at flyweight for our third fight of the main card. A fight that went from 2 young guys to 2 old guys. One that's not old, but 26 versus 28 to now 30 versus 36. And then we have in our second flyweight fight of the main card, our third fight of the main card overall, and second half of this flyweight double header back to back. We have Edgar Puro Chicali Shires versus Filipino Bunis. Yeah, this fight ain't too difficult to predict. Some compared to the other two, it fucking looks like a very competitive fight, but even this ain't that competitive. One guy's actually good, the other is not at all. What more am I really meant to say there? Yeah, not really much. Kind of the forgotten fight of the main card, I would say, but I'm excited for it. Let's talk about it. Beginning with one, I would say a guy who's really become a fan favorite for a lot of people, and just a really fun fighter as is Edgar Shires. 12-6, 30 years old, 2-2 and 2-1 in the UFC, but that one was really a win. And look at those 2 losses. His 2 losses are Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van. Can he get... And he actually looked good in both those fights, almost beating both of them. His 2 wins are Daniel Larceda and CJ Vigara. So, and no contest was Larceda, so really he beat him twice, but minor details. Yeah, good to see Edgar back after a year, a little under a year away, coming out with that CJ Vergara win where he looked really good. Yeah, he's a pretty solid fighter. Like, I don't know what happened on regional scene and why he's losing to Jesus Aguilar and Clayton Carpenter, but, or Contender Series, but again, for some reason, he almost finished Joshua Van, lost to Tatsuro, which could you name 2 better losses to have beat the other guys he's fought, so he's either fought some of the lowest of the low or the highest of the high in this division. I'll give him that. He's decent, 30 years old, fun fighter, 4 knockouts, 8 submissions, all losses by decision, though if he's getting a finish, it's gonna be, or if he's getting a win, it's gonna be a finish. And, yeah, he's pretty fucking decent, man. I think there's a world where he could be a top 15 guy. I think he's better than a few of the guys in the top 15. I'd pick him against guys like Bruno Silva and, I'm trying to remember who's another lower ranked top 15 guy. I would say I think he's better than Asuam Bayev, and I think he's much better than Joseph Morales. Like, again, look at the 2 losses he has, for fuck's sake. So, the dude's decent. The dude is really decent. And, yeah, I think he's a top, probably 20 guy in the division. Solid fighter, fun fighter, likable guy. And what can you say? He walks out with the fake bullets on him and all that. He's cool. He's a fun fighter. And, yeah, he might not be like a top tier prospect like a Mantle, but he's good, man. I could see him being in the top 15. To be honest, if he could stay active and not run into like the best fighters in the goddamn division. So, we'll see. And then for his opponent, the old Brazilian Felipe Bunes, fighting out of the Apex for the first time. 14-8, 36 years old, 1-2 in UFC. No, another guy who kind of just got signed out of nowhere, but I don't even get why he got signed. Debut was against Joshua Van, where he got finished. Beat Jose Johnson last year, which was my first lock of the night for last year, and got a good job. And then lost to Javier Esteban in the fight. I truly don't remember, but I guess it happened. Yeah, I don't get why they ever signed him. Like, I don't think it was a short notice thing. Like, they just straight up signed him, and it's shown since yeah, why. Esteban and Van are fine losses, but dude, I don't think he would lose to better guys, or to worse guys than that. So, I thought he was gonna lose to Jose Johnson. It was fucking terrible. So what does that tell you? Boonies, again, 36 years old. Not really a great striker, really just a grappler, and not even the greatest there either, because Esteban beat him there pretty soundly. Not great cardio at all. I don't know what to really say here. He's far from anything special in my opinion. I think he's on the lower end of flyweights with your fucking Daniel Barez's and guys like that, Matt Schnell, and yeah, I kind of just meant to be cannon fodder here. I think Borjas is truly better, and yeah, he's kind of just here to give Edgar a win, I would say. So, still don't even know why he's even fucking here. The Panthers fighter, one of the lowest on the card at -250 for Shirek, plus 190 for Boonies. I would say that should be higher than that. I'd say like -330, 350 for Shirez would be more accurate. I don't think Boonies is really too much of a threat for Edgar at all. Same height, Edgar has a much bigger reach advantage and is 94% picked. I have a weird feeling Edgar's gonna win by knockout here, which I know is, like, it's funny, no one knows how Edgar's gonna win this fight. I think it's gonna be with this or this. I'm struggling to think which. Like, I feel like he's gonna get a knockout here. I know he only has 4 and none of them are in the UFC. I feel like he's gonna be able to get that here. I think he's gonna kind of break Felipe. Now I'm trying to think what round. I kind of could see this being like Benoit Saint-Denis and Gabriel Miranda, where the dude gets hurt late and then he just comes out and gets finished right at the beginning of the round. I'm feeling round 2 again. I think I'm going to go same as Emmanuel. Edgar Chairez by knockout in the second. I think that's how Van finished the boonies as well. The altitude mixed with fighting a guy who's high pressure and crazy like Chairez, I think he's going to break boonies. And, do I go round 1? Nah, I'm gonna go round 2. I just have a weird feeling it's gonna be round 2. Yeah, give me Edgar Chairez by knockout in the second. Could it be a submission? I won't be shocked. I don't think this goes the full 15. I think Edgar is gonna finish him within the first 2 rounds. Yes, I'm trying to think of what round. I think I'm gonna go knockout in the second. I just have a weird feeling that is gonna be the case. Unless something happens at weigh-ins tomorrow to make me switch to round 1 or submission, we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go round 2 knockout as of right now. But I could easily go round 1 submission or round 2 submission, round whatever. So, and that's the biggest debate for this fight. I don't see Boonies winning this fight. If he were to, it'd have to be a lucky submission attempt, and I don't think he's gonna be able to get that. So, I'm gonna go Edgar Chairez right now by knockout in the second. But again, I could see this going a few ways for Edgar. If it's a round 1 knockout, round 1 submission, whatever. Let's see. And give me Chairez by knockout in the second right now. I think he's gonna break Boonies in high altitude at home. Give me Puro Cali to get the win here. Not much to say. Give me Chairez by knockout in the second. 4 finishes in a row. What the fuck happened to me? Don't worry, we'll get back to decisions right here. So there you go. After that, we hit, I guess you want to call it the big 3 of the card. I don't know if I'd call this a big 3 and really pushing it. As we have in our featured bout of the main card, our 4th fight of the main card, the heaviest fight of the main card, at lightweight, we have a fight that I don't really look forward to trying to predict because I don't trust either of these dickheads. We have in our 4th fight of the main card, and maybe easily the hardest one to predict, we have Daniel Golden Boy Zellhuber versus King Green. I don't want to pick either of these guys. I don't trust Zellhuber. I don't trust Bobby Green in 2026. Yeah, this could go a lot of different ways. Let's see which way it goes. Let's begin with the Mexican, Daniel Zellhuber, who was coming off getting fucking embarrassed last time out. 15-3, 26 years old, 3-3 in UFC. Probably should be 4-2, but you know, minor details. Coming off Contender Series against Lux Almeida, that's funny. His wins have been Lando Venata, Christoph Giagos, and Francisco Prado. He's lost to Trey Ogden, Esteban Ribovics, and Michael Johnson. Yeah, what a weird career he's had. He's beat up pretty much tomato cans when Lando and Prado are your highest tier wins, I should say. A lot. For losses, Trey Ogden, not great at all. You know, Trey's okay. You shouldn't be losing to him if you're as good as people say you are. Ribovics in one of the greatest fights of 2024. The big bold decision. Fine, I'll give you that. But then the Michael Johnson one. Have a minus 850 favorite. One of the biggest favorites of 2025. And to lose, and lose dominantly, it wasn't some fluke. You got dominated for 3 rounds. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? What happened? MJ just embarrassed him pretty much. And yeah, now coming into this fight on 2 fights, getting embarrassed the last time out. Yeah, this is do or die for Zellhuber. Fighting another old lightweight as a giant favorite. If he loses again here, dude, what the fuck? That MJ fight's already fucking grounds for removal from the roster. Not because MJ sucks, just because what the fuck happened. Now, if you do again against Bobby Green, who's fucking terrible. Ugh. That's it. Like, Phil Huber's not that good. We can just be fucking blunt about it. He's not that fucking good. So, but you should be beating Bobby Green and Trey Ogden. So, let's see. He's an Eric Nicksick guy, which actually would make a lot of sense why he's fucking terrible. And, see if he can wake the fuck up and perform halfway to what the betting on says he should perform to. Cause God, I'm happy MJ won last time, but it's like, what the fuck, dude? See what happens. Cause he is fighting everyone's favorite annoying fighter, Bobby Green. A guy who went from lovable to, God, just shut up and fight real quick. 33, 17 and 1, 39 years old, 14, 12, 1 and 1 UFC. Over the last couple years, where I forget when the King bullshit started. I believe it was one of these fights. I think it was Patty, I want to say. Either he's 2-2 or 1-2 as King Green. Either way, his career the last few years has not went great. He had that Islam main event, lost to Dober, that weird Jared Gordon fight. Beat Tony and Grant Dawson, which was cool. Jalen almost killed him. Jim Miller was an awesome fight. Patty beat him. Rufy killed him, and then he's squeaked by Lance Gibson. I still think that fight's a lot more debatable than people want to admit, but whatever. Yeah, that fight was definitely not the same Bobby Green we've seen the last couple years. He threw nothing, he didn't do anything, and he pretty much just walked forward and talked, and it was shocked that he almost lost. It's like, really? He has no chin anymore. If you fucking glance him, you're gonna knock him out. So now it's like, what do we do? He's just gonna walk forward and talk, let's be honest. But can that get him win, or is he gonna fucking cry when he loses a decision that he didn't do shit in? Who knows? Yeah, again, 39 years old, probably would be better for like BKFC or fucking DBX at this point, but, you know, if he wants, UFC loves him. I think he's more of a glorified felony Charles Bennett. I think felony's better. I think he fought felony as well. I don't know. He did. So, will he ever shut up and fucking fight? Let's see. Calvin Allen might have stole his whole gimmick, but he does it much better. So Huber minus 500, plus 350. Clearly no one fucking learned from the MJ fight. Because if anyone learned, clearly Huber should not be minus 500 here. Or against really anyone unless he was fighting goddamn Shamrock or some bullshit like that, and now he's fighting another old veteran, just like Michael Johnson. Yes, MJ is much better than Bobby Green right now, and probably just in general, but still. I get Huber being the favorite, but I wouldn't have him higher than minus 180, 190. Like, Bobby Green might be, value-wise, the best underdog on the card. It kind of gives off Strickland fluffy vibes from last week, where it's like, really? Those are the odds? So, I don't know. Logically, yes, Huber should win this fight. He's fucking 13 years younger, and Bobby Green just looked terrible against Lance Gibson, who Huber would be for minus 500 against. But, can you trust him? I can't. I truly can. So Huber just has these fucking brain farts in these fights. So, let's see. 6'1" to 5'10" for Zell Huber, 77 to 71, and Zell Huber's 84% picked. I'm gonna go Zell Huber, but I'm far from confident. Even with me not trusting him and not being an idiot, I just cannot pick Bobby Green in 2026 anymore. He didn't look good against Lance, and again, debatable if he even won that fight, and he is kind of just getting annoying at this point. So, I'm going Daniel Zell Huber by decision. Could he knock him out? Yes, if there's a finish in this fight, 99% chance it's going to be Zell Huber getting the knockout, because Bobby Green's just going to walk around and talk more than fight. But, let's find out. I definitely think the odds are way off, again, like Fluffy Strickland last week. And, let's see what happens. Let's see if the betting odds may make the same mistake they did last time with Huber, as the old veteran schools him again. Let's find out. But I'm gonna say they don't. Give me Daniel Huber by decision with zero fucking confidence at all. And, see what happens then. Not really much more I can think to say here. I don't trust Huber. I don't trust King Green. I don't think this is gonna be a great fight. Let's see what happens. Will he actually show up and fight? Will he win a fight he should win? Find out next time. Give me Huber by decision. Not confident. After that, though, we get to our co-main event of the evening in the top 10 of the, well, I think top 13, whatever, top 15 of bantamweight. A very good co-main event. That is definitely a big fight for the new kid on the block in the top 15. We have our co-main event of the evening at bantamweight, a very good co-main event and a very easy one to predict in my opinion. It should be in everyone's opinion. We have co-main Marlon Chito Vera versus David the Doctor Martinez. Doctors are 1-0 in co-mains in 2026 last week. Yeah, this is a pretty simple fight to predict. I don't think I need to waste too much time here, but I'll talk about it a little bit. We'll begin with the higher ranked old, well, he's only 33 somehow. The veteran of the two, Chito Vera, 23-11-1, 33 years old, 15-10 in UFC. Not gonna go over his whole UFC career, just the time that it really started. That fluke win over O'Malley. That, let's be honest, without that, no one would give a shit about him. Since then, he lost to Aldo, went on a winning streak that was actually okay. Davey Grant, Frankie Edgar, Rob Font, Dom Cruz. Fine. That was a perfectly average winning streak. Then got beat by Sandhagen and still one of the worst scorecards of all time. Lost to Pedro Munoz, if we're being honest. O'Malley did, well, I'll give him durability respect, but geez, O'Malley kicked his ass from hay to high. Figgy beat him, and then, let's be honest, he beat Zahavi, but that means so little it's not even funny. And now he's here, and 1-4 in his last 5, and the win is here, and this should be a loss. So, yeah, Cheeto's done. Chito is done. I think he's another guy who's kind of perfect for PFL or Dirty Boxing, BKFC, whatever. He just really doesn't have any more feet. I don't think he ever had to begin with again. He's a top 30, 35 decent bantamweight at best. He was never a top 15 level guy, and he really is not anymore. And again, if we take away that fluke win against O'Malley that he would have lost without the injury, what the fuck would his career would have been? Prelims? He would have just been a prelim guy. He might have went on a nice little streak, but I don't think it would have been as easy as Dominic Cruz and Frankie Edgar in 2023. So, 2022, whatever. So, he's a slow starter, which is code for not fighting till like round 3, and he's just not that good anymore. So, he was okay at one point, I guess, but I still don't think he was a top 5 guy then, or top 10 guy then, and he's not a top 15 guy now. So, at the end of the road, if this was the last time we see him, I wouldn't be shocked. And, what more can you really say outside of that? So, pretty basic. And about the end of the Cheeto show that never really should begin to begin with. And then for the opponent here, the only time the Mexican is in the blue corner on this card, only because of the top of the rankings, the young prospect, David Martinez, 13-1, 27 years old, 2-0 in UFC off the Contender Series. And his 2 wins last year, he beat Simon Oliveira and Rob Font to get ranked, instantly putting him in the top tier of rookies last year. And most years, he probably would have been Rookie of the Year, but guys like Salkilled, Gutierrez, and Vallejos showed up, so he got unlucky there. But still, I would say, I think I put him at 4th, which is obviously deserved. Go trying to get win number 3 and continue to climb the top 15. Much better prospect than Peyton Talbot. but he doesn't get that privilege of Talbot. Probably should have done Talbot Cheeto, but whatever. Yeah, Martinez is very good. Quick hands, good cardio, good fighter. Grappling we haven't really seen, but we're not gonna need to see it here. He's decent. Good power, but obviously you're not gonna knock out Cheeto, so that's not a worry. But quicker, faster, stronger, better, younger. What else can I really say? Yeah, simple. The first fight have David Martinez minus 280 to plus 220. I agree, could have him minus 300 in my opinion. I know we haven't seen a lot. I agree, we haven't seen a lot from him, but fuck, the 2 fights we've seen of him last year is better than what we've seen of Cheeto for the last 5 years. So what does that tell you? Cheeto's 3 inches taller and has a bit of a reach advantage, 80 to 20 for Martinez. And I'm going David Martinez here, obviously. I don't see how Cheeto wins this fight. He's going to drop round 1 for sure. He's probably going to drop round 2. And high chance he drops round 3 because Martinez has decent cardio. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if, like always, if Cheeto, round 3 is Cheeto need to finish. Because he's an idiot and just stood there for 2 rounds. But let's see. I'm going David Martinez decision very confidently. I just don't see what Cheeto's gonna do here to win this fight. Like, again, he's older, he's slower, he's never been really a powerful guy. Martinez is younger, faster, etc., etc. A few years ago, this would be more of a debate. In 2026, give me David Martinez by decision. Excited to see more of this kid because he's pretty decent. We just haven't seen a lot. 2 fights plus contender series of 3 overall. Still not a lot, but again, enough to get him in the top 15. And now we see how he looks against Cheeto. So give me David Martinez by decision. Not really much else to say there. Don't really see Cheeto winning this fight. Kind of the end of the road for him. Probably will get 1 more fight after this. I wouldn't be shocked, but maybe not. And yeah, David Martinez by decision. Not really much else to say there. Pretty simple fight to predict. And then finally, we have the main event of the evening, a fight that is extremely fucking stupid, but, it is what it is. Thanks Asu for pulling out and giving us a fight that's somehow dumber than Asu Amabayev in the main event. We have in our main event of the evening at flyweight, another fight that easily could have been lock of the night, and I got close to being. Don't really need to explain much here, because what the fuck needs to be explained. And we have the main event of the evening at flyweight, Mexico's favorite son, more than Canelo, Brandon, the assassin baby, Moreno, versus Lonnie Kavanaugh. Brand Moreno by decision. What more really needs to be said? I don't need to talk about Moreno. I don't really know what I'm meant to say about Lonnie here. I think the kid is good and will be good. Will be better someday. Will be a top guy, but 9-1, 26 years old, coming off his first career loss. Yeah, this is just gonna go bad for him. The dude is talented. I think he will get better and be a top guy, but yeah, this is just too much too soon. Could even ruin him, to be honest. Could be a Darren Till situation here. Yeah. Obviously, again, he is stepping in for Asu Amabayev, so I get it. Someone had to step in, but why not someone else? The guy he was meant to fight, Bruno Silva, would have been better. You could have called. I thought you were gonna call Royval or Perez. Alex Perez would have made the most sense. Tim Elliott, fucking Rafael Esteban, Andre Lima, Alan Nascimento. Someone coming off a win at least who not deserves, but could take this fight and be more understandable. Steady Piccolani, who just lost, and yeah, not my first choice, and now not even in the top 15, which is even fucking dumber. So what does that tell you? Moreno minus 245 should be minus 6-7. I would say minus 900. Truly, if Lonnie wins this fight, it'd be one of the biggest upsets of all time, in my opinion. I just don't see a world where Lonnie wins this fight. 86% on Moreno. I don't know how it's not more. I think Moreno was one of the easiest picks on the card here. Again, easily in the lock category with guys like Luna and Marshall and all that. Give me Brand Moreno by decision. I'm not even trying to shit on Lonnie Kavanaugh. Again, I think the kid is very good and will be good, a top guy someday. But this fight's just not the right thing to be doing right after just losing to Energy. And, yeah, this is gonna end really bad, so good luck to him. It would be one of the craziest upsets of all time if he did pull it off. But I don't see how he pulls it off. Getting Brand Moreno by decision. He ain't getting a finish because Moreno don't do those things. I truly believe the Kai Car Francis body kick will be his last finish of his career. And should be an easy win for Brandon to get back on track and fight Horiguchi. So, not very much else to say there. Nothing. Mexico's gonna end the night on a W. Good for them. And with that being said, boom, that was the card. Go over my picks one more time. Damian Pinos by knockout in the first. Francis Marshall by submission in the first. Regina Tarin by decision. Javier Reyes by decision. Christian Quinones by decision. Eileen Perez by decision. Ryan Gondra, my luck of the night, by knockout in the first. Santiago Luna by knockout in the first. Emmanuel Rodriguez by knockout in the second. Edgar Chairez by knockout in the second. Daniel Huber by decision. David Martinez by decision. And Brandon Moreno by decision. Bang. Well, I guess I can't say, why so many decisions this time, because I have, 6 finishes out of 13, a good amount. Though I didn't pick one for any of these, and I think the only one here that really has a high chance of being a finish would be this one. I don't think any of these 3 will be, and then I have neither of these are going to be a finish, so if I had to pick another finish, it would either be Zo Huber or Quinones, and I'd probably go Quinones, but I don't know. And Mexican, what will be the Mexicans' record if I went perfect? Would they go undefeated? I think they would go undefeated, because Regina, Quinones, Luna, Emmanuel, so they would go undefeated. So I'm just going off the ones who have the Mexican flag. If you want to count anyone else into that regard, sure. But I'm just going off what Tapology says. I'm stupid. Leave me alone. There you go, man. UFC Mexico, under an hour and 50 minutes. That's better than the last few videos. And, there you go. A card that everyone says is shit. I really don't agree. I truly don't. I agree the main event is, and I agree with some of the matchmaking is pretty piss poor, but that's the UFC for you. I think it could be fun. I really think this could be a fun card, and I have a little bit of hope. So we need a good card already this year, because all we've got is 3 mid cards, and 325 is pretty ass. So hopefully we finally get a decent card. A 6 out of 10 would be so fucking nice to say on Sunday for the recap, but wishful thinking. I just don't want another 5.6 out of 10. Give us a good card, please. That we're getting this card in general is a miracle. And, not really too much else to say there. We'll find out how good the card was on Sunday when I do the recap video, hopefully dropping earlier than last week's, but I make no promises, but I'll more than likely, normal Sunday afternoon-ish. I'll keep an eye out for that. Stream-wise, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, no shit, you already know that. I have a short out later today from when this is coming out, and then obviously one on Saturday, normal for the rest of, however, and the content schedule by now, and if you're new, you'll learn it real quickly, so. And, not like anyone's gonna watch this anyway, so what am I talking about? Not really too much else to say there. I'm excited for this card. That we're just getting it in general is a miracle, and, let's see what happens, so. Unless I'm going to say something which I don't believe I am, the only thing left to say now is, of course, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn sub gold by the end of 2026. We're 4 away please, please. And I know it's not happening. I can dream. And as always, RX out. Good vibes only